sold like livestock. The cold air smelled like metal, blood, and fear. Liam sat quietly in the corner of the cage, his knees pulled to his chest. He was just 16, but his eyes looked older, full of pain and silence. Around him, other humans sat in cages too, old, young, even children. They were all waiting for the same thing, to be sold. This wasn't Earth anymore. Not really. The skies were dark, not with clouds, but with alien ships. The cities were broken, the rules were gone. Humans weren't called people now. They were called stock. Livestock. Every day, giant aliens walked through the market. They wore metal suits, long robes, or breathing masks. Each one looked different, but they all looked at humans the same way, like animals. Some picked the strong ones for work. Some picked the beautiful ones for their homes. Some picked the young ones for darker reasons, and no one ever came back. Liam remembered the day his little sister was taken. She was 12, full of life, always smiling. One alien paid in glowing coins, and she was pulled from the cage. She screamed. She cried. He screamed too, but the guards hit him, and then she was gone. Just like that. Since then, he had stopped talking. But today, something changed. He looked up as the gate opened again. Another group of aliens entered. Liam stood up and pressed his hands to the bars. His voice broke as he spoke. "Please, just take me away from this hell." The other humans looked at him like he was crazy. No one asked to be sold, but Liam had lost everything. He just wanted it to end. One of the aliens stopped in front of his cage. He was tall, thin, covered in a dark cloak. His face was hidden by a smooth mask with one blue light in the middle. He didn't speak. He just stared at Liam. Then he raised one long finger and pointed. The guard nodded, unlocked the cage, and pulled Liam out. Chains were put on his hands and feet. He didn't resist. He just kept his eyes on the ground. They walked through the halls of the market, past cages, past screens. Liam felt the stares of others, some jealous, some sorry. He didn't look back. He was taken to a small ship, silver and smooth like a knife. The alien pressed a button, and a door opened with a soft hiss. Inside, the lights were soft blue, and the walls hummed gently. It didn't feel like a prison, but Liam knew better. He was placed in a small seat and strapped in. The alien sat across from him, silent, unmoving. The ship started to rise. Earth grew smaller through the window. Liam felt his chest tighten. "Where are you taking me?" he asked, his voice shaking. The alien tilted his head, then said a single word in English. "Survive." That was all. Just one word, then silence again. The ship jumped into hyperspace, and the stars stretched like lines. Liam felt a strange mix of fear and confusion. Why would an alien tell him to survive? Why not just kill him or sell him again? What did this one want? Hours passed, maybe days. Liam was given food, clean, real food, not scraps. He was allowed to rest. The chains were removed, but the alien still didn't talk. One night, Liam woke up from a nightmare. He remembered his sister, her screams. He sat in the dark room and cried quietly. Suddenly, the alien appeared at the door. He didn't come closer. He just stood there, watching. Liam wiped his tears and looked at him. "Why me?" he asked. "Why save me?" No answer. Just that silent blue light staring at him. Then the alien turned and left. The door closed slowly. Liam sat there, heart pounding. Something was wrong. Or maybe something was different. This alien wasn't like the others. But that didn't mean he was safe. A voice echoed in his head, his sister's voice. "Don't trust anyone, not even the ones who smile." But this one didn't smile. He didn't even speak. Liam lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know if he would live or die. But he knew one thing. He wasn't in the cage anymore. And maybe, just maybe, That was the start of something. Something bigger, something dangerous, something that could change everything. Not a pet, not a slave. Liam opened his eyes slowly. He was no longer on the ship. He lay on a soft surface, not a bed, not a floor, but something in between. The room was quiet, glowing with soft blue light. Everything felt too clean, too perfect. No cages, no chains, but also no door. He sat up quickly, heart racing. Where was he? Was this a prison that looked like paradise? Suddenly, a soft hiss filled the air. The wall in front of him melted away, turning into an open hallway. The same tall alien stood there, watching him with that single blue light on his mask. Still silent, still unreadable, Liam stood up, unsure. The alien made a gesture, not a command, not a threat, just a motion to follow. Liam walked carefully, his bare feet touching the smooth floor. They moved through quiet halls that seemed alive. Walls pulsed with light, like veins. Machines floated silently in the air, scanning, blinking, recording. They passed rooms where other creatures were kept. Not all of them were human. Some had scales, others had fur. Some were in tubes filled with green liquid. Some were awake, staring with glowing eyes. Liam felt cold sweat on his neck. What kind of place was this? Why was he brought here? The alien stopped at a large glass door. Inside, there was a round chamber. In the center, a chair, strange, glowing, with wires moving like snakes. Liam stepped back, heart pounding. "No," he whispered. "I'm not doing that." But the alien turned to him, and for the first time removed his mask. Liam froze. The alien's face wasn't monstrous. It was thin, pale blue, with sharp eyes and markings that looked like scars. Not angry, not cruel, just tired. Old and tired, he spoke in a soft voice. "You are not livestock," he said. "You are not a pet, and you are not a slave." Liam didn't know what to say. He stared at the alien, shocked. The alien stepped closer and pointed to the chair. "Sit," he said. "You must remember." "Remember what?" Liam asked, voice shaking. The alien didn't answer. He just waited. Liam took a deep breath and walked into the chamber. He sat down, and the chair moved, wrapping around him gently. The wires touched his head, chest, arms. He felt no pain. Only warmth. Then flash. His mind exploded with images. Earth before the invasion, Liam in school, laughing with friends. His mother cooking dinner. His sister playing with dolls. Then bombs, fire, black skies. Aliens descending, screams, running, chains, cages. But there was more. A hidden memory, buried deep. Liam standing in front of something ancient, a glowing machine, shaped like a star, his hand touching it, and it waking up. He gasped and opened his eyes. The chair released him. He fell to the ground, breathing hard. "What was that?" he asked. The alien spoke again, slowly. "You touched something long ago, something we fear. Your kind was not supposed to awaken it." Liam's heart thundered in his chest. "What does that mean? Why me?" The alien looked at him with those tired eyes. "Because you are not weak," he said. "You are a key." "A key? To what?" Suddenly, loud alarms began to ring. Red lights flashed. A voice echoed in an alien language, fast and angry. The alien turned sharply. "They found us," he said. "You must move." The wall melted again, revealing a narrow escape path. Liam followed without question now. Everything was spinning. Memories, words, visions. As they ran through the glowing halls, Liam saw strange weapons on the walls. Some looked alive, others were frozen in stasis. This wasn't a lab. This wasn't a prison. This was a war bunker, and he was not a prisoner. He was a piece in a much bigger game, and the enemy had just arrived. The alien pushed a small device into Liam's hand. "Use this only if I fall," he said, Liam looked down. It was a small crystal cube, glowing with energy. He didn't know what it did, but it hummed in his hand like it knew him. Outside, the walls, something growled. A machine, huge and angry. Liam felt fear again. But this time, it was mixed with something else. Something rising inside him, not anger, not hope, something stronger, purpose. The arena isn't what it seems. The sky above was not real. It was a dome, painted with stars, artificial, glowing and cold. Liam stood in the middle of it, wearing a strange black uniform. No shoes, no weapons, just a tight suit, and the sound of his own heartbeat. Around him, hundreds of aliens sat in silence. They filled the seats of a giant arena. Some were tall and elegant, others short and sharp. Their eyes burned with hunger, not for food, but for blood. Liam looked up at them and felt like a mouse in a snake pit. The silent alien, the one who had taken him from Earth, stood far above, watching from a dark balcony. No words, no signals, just a cold stare. Liam's fingers trembled. He didn't understand. He thought he was part of something important. Not this, not a gladiator show. A door opened behind him. Out stepped another human. A girl, maybe 17. Her eyes were wild, her face bruised. She looked at Liam like an animal looks at a trap. Fight. A voice boomed from the sky, alien language, sharp and cruel. But Liam understood the meaning. One of them must win. One of them must fall. Liam shook his head. "No, I won't," he whispered. But the girl didn't wait. She rushed toward him. Fists clenched, screaming. He dodged. Barely. She attacked again. This time with a sharp kick to his ribs. Pain shot through him. He stumbled back. She didn't stop. This wasn't her first fight. It was her survival. Liam raised his arms to defend, but didn't strike back. "I'm not your enemy," he said. She didn't answer, just kept swinging. The crowd cheered, loud, violent. Bloodlust filled the air like smoke. Liam grabbed her arms and held them tightly. "Stop," he said. "We don't have to do this." She spat in his face and headbutted him. He fell back, dazed. Then suddenly, the voice returned. "New challenge," it said. The floor under them shifted, plates moving like puzzle pieces. From the walls, spikes rose, slowly at first, then faster. The room was changing, turning into a death trap. Liam's eyes widened. They weren't being tested just for strength. They were being tested for survival. He ran toward the girl, not to fight, but to grab her. She fought back again, but he wrapped his arms around her and pulled her to the side. A spike shot from the floor where she had just stood. She froze, realizing what had just happened. He had saved her. "Trust me," he said, gasping. "We can survive this together." She nodded, slowly. No more punches. Just two humans now, trying not to die. They moved quickly, ducking under swinging blades, jumping over rising fire vents. The arena was alive, hungry. Each second tested their reflexes, their choices. Aliens above watched silently, judging, learning, recording. At the final platform, the girl slipped. Liam grabbed her hand and pulled her up. They collapsed on the floor, breathing hard, bloody, burned, alive. A siren rang. The floor lowered slowly, taking them underground. The crowd above remained silent. No cheers, no claps, just silence. Liam and the girl were taken to a cold room. No chains, but cameras in every corner. The door locked behind them. She sat down, wiping her face. "I'm Kayla," she said. "Third fight. First time someone didn't try to kill me." Liam nodded. "I'm Liam," he said. "First fight. Last time I trust anyone." She looked at him for a long time, then leaned closer. "You're different," she whispered. "You don't smell like a slave." "What?" he asked, confused. "They feed us something," she said. "Makes us slow, makes us angry. easier to control. But you, your eyes are clear. Liam remembered the food he was given. Clean, healthy, different. The alien had treated him better, but why? Then she pulled something from her pocket, hidden under her belt. A small device, blinking red. I stole this from a dead alien guard, she said. It records memories. She placed it on the floor and tapped it twice. A hologram appeared, fuzzy, but clear enough. It showed Liam's fight. A arena changing. Then it zoomed in on the alien in the balcony. A voice whispered in a low-tone alien language, but the translation came through the device. He is reacting fast, the alien said. His instincts are too sharp. He remembers. More than expected. If he survives another round, move him to phase 2. Liam stared at the image, heart pounding. He wasn't being tested for entertainment. He was being studied, prepared. For what? He asked. Kayla looked at him. I think you're not here to fight, she said. I think you're here to lead. The door hissed open, and 4 guards entered, weapons drawn. The test was over. Now something bigger was beginning. And Liam was at the center of it. Whispers of rebellion. Liam sat in a dark room. His hands were shaking. His body hurt from the arena, but his mind was burning. The words from the hologram kept echoing in his head. If he survives another round, move him to phase 2. What was phase 2? Why him? What did they mean? He remembers more than expected. The guards had taken Kayla. He didn't know where. Maybe to be punished, maybe worse. Now he was alone again. Then a soft hiss. The wall behind him slid open, revealing a narrow tunnel. No guards, no lights, just black silence. He stood up. Slowly, a whisper in his head told him not to go, but something deeper inside pulled him forward. He stepped in, the wall closing behind him. Each step echoed, like the tunnel itself was listening. After what felt like hours, a dim orange light appeared at the end. He walked toward it and entered a small, hidden chamber. Inside were 5 aliens, not armored, not cruel. They wore simple robes, their faces calm, and beside them, Kayla. Alive, safe, Liam, she said, smiling weakly. They told me. Everything. The tallest alien stepped forward. Her voice was soft, full of sadness. We are not your enemy, she said. We are Oshari, the Forgotten Ones. Liam stayed silent, alert. We are rebels, she continued. We once believed in the council, but no more. They call humans livestock, she said. But we have seen the truth. She touched a device, and a floating image appeared. Earth, green and blue. Then it turned red, broken, enslaved. And then an old image thousands of years ago. Caves, stars, glowing symbols, ancient humans reaching. For the sky, you are not always weak, she said. Your kind once touched the stars, long before our machines found you. Then something made you forget. Liam stepped closer, confused. We had space travel? Yes, she said, but someone erased your history, sealed your minds, Liam's. Heart pounded. It was too much, too strange, too big. Why show me this? He asked. The alien lowered her head. Because you are waking up, she said. Your memories, your instincts, your mind, it's returning. You touched the Genesis star. Liam blinked. He remembered the vision, the ancient machine, glowing like fire. Back on Earth, before the invasion. I don't understand, he whispered. I'm just a kid. No, she said. You are a trigger. A spark? If you survive, others will remember too. Kayla stepped forward, holding something, a thin chip, glowing softly. This holds the truth, she said, not just for you, but for all humans. Liam stared at it. His hand trembled as he took it. It felt heavy, like a heart. We need you to deliver it. The alien said, not to Earth. Earth is lost. To the arena core, the place where minds are rewritten. Liam shook his head. That place is locked, he said. No one gets in unless they're chosen. The alien smiled. You are already chosen. Suddenly, a red light flashed in the chamber. One of the rebels ran in, breathless. They found us, he said. Guards incoming. 70 seconds. The rebel leader looked at Liam. You have to leave now. Take the chip to the core. Kayla will guide you. Kayla nodded, grabbing his hand. We go through the garbage shaft, she said. Disgusting, but safe. They ran fast, no looking back. Behind them, the rebels stayed to fight. Blaster fire echoed, shouts, screams. Liam didn't want to leave them, but he had no choice. Through tight vents, metal pipes, dripping waste, they crawled and climbed until they reached a small tunnel that opened to a wide view. The core, a tower of glowing light, protected by energy walls and drones. It floated above the city like a god. Below it, crowds of humans walked blindly, eyes empty, minds blank. That's what happens if we fail. Kayla whispered, They'll erase everyone. Liam clenched the chip in his hand. No more cages, no more fighting for sport, no more silence. This wasn't just survival anymore. This was a mission. And if what they said was true, then he wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for all of humanity. Rise of the human mind. The night sky above the alien city was fake, a black dome covered in holographic stars, but the tower, the core, was real. It floated above the ground, held by magnetic force. Glowing like a god's eye, Liam stared. Up at it from the shadows. The chip hidden in his belt felt like fire. Kyla stood beside him, silent, watching the patrols below. Drones flew in perfect circles. Guards walked in patterns. Sensors swept the air every 6 seconds. This isn't just defense, Kyla whispered. It's control. Inside that tower, the alien elite stored memories, edited thoughts. They controlled every human mind in the sector, wiped history, added fear, erased courage. But the chip Liam carried, it was a weapon, not a bomb, not a virus, something stronger. Truth. We get in through the maintenance shaft, Kayla said, pointing. To a small hatch near a vent. No cameras, just a heat sensor. How do we beat it? Liam asked. She smiled. We freeze. Minutes later, they pressed ice packs from the waste unit against their skin. Teeth chattering, lips blue, they crawled toward the shaft. The sensor blinked green, reading them as cold cargo. Access granted. They entered the core. No alarms, no sound, just pulsing lights. Like a living brain, the inside wasn't a building. It was a maze. Walls shifted slowly, rearranging themselves. It's alive, Liam whispered. Kayla nodded. Built with sentient code. Liam reached into his belt and pulled out the chip. It vibrated gently, almost humming. This will show them the truth? He asked. It won't just show them, she said. It will wake them. He swallowed hard. Once uploaded, the signal would burst through the tower. Every mind connected would receive old memories. Earth's real past, humans as builders, dreamers, explorers, not livestock, not slaves. But something was wrong. A chill ran down Liam's spine. He turned. The wall behind them was shifting, not from the tower systems. Something was moving inside it. Suddenly, a figure stepped out, tall, armored, face hidden under a glass helm. Not like the guards, not like the rebels. A prime. The voice was smooth, emotionless. You carry a false key, it said. That chip contains poison. Kyla stepped in front of Liam. We carry memory, she said. Something you stole from us. The prime ignored her. It looked at Liam. You were meant to fight, it said, not to think. Liam felt anger rise in his chest. No, he said, voice firm. You trained me, tested me, observed me, and still you're afraid. I am not afraid, the prime said. I I'm curious. Then it stepped aside. Upload the chip, it said. Let us see if your truth is stronger than obedience. Liam looked at Kyla, unsure, but she nodded. Do it. He stepped to the main console, a floating sphere of light and energy. He placed the chip into the core. The lights dimmed, then flashed red. The tower began to hum. Images exploded across the walls. Old Earth, the pyramids, the moon landing, human cities, families, art, fire, invention, war, love, pain, survival. The tower shook above. The guards began screaming. Not in pain, but in confusion. Memories were returning. Humans dropped there. Tools, their heads snapping up as if waking from a dream. All around the city, the effect spread. The humans remembered. The aliens panicked. The Prime stared at the images, silent. Then it spoke, slowly. This is not rebellion, it said. This is evolution. Liam turned to Kayla. Did it work? She nodded, eyes wide. You did it. Suddenly, the core exploded with light. An emergency lockdown activated. Walls slammed shut. Red beams crossed the exits. The Prime raised one hand. I cannot let you leave. It said, even if I respect what you've done. Kayla raised her blade, ready to fight, but Liam stopped her. No more running, he said. We just changed everything. From the shadows, new figures entered. Rebels, aliens and humans alike, armed, ready. We traced the signal, one of them said. We followed the memory. The Prime stood still, outnumbered but calm. I suppose this is the part where you demand freedom, it said. Liam stepped forward. No, he said. We're not asking. We're taking it. The Prime lowered its weapon. Then, to everyone's shock, bowed its head. I will not stop you, it said. Perhaps your kind was never meant to be controlled. Liam felt the shift in the air. Power was changing sides. For the first time in years, maybe in centuries, humanity stood tall. Not with chains, but with memory. And with memory came purpose. Freedom isn't given asterisk. The tower burned from within. Smoke rose into the false sky. Screams echoed. Below, not of pain, but confusion. Awakening, the memory pulse had worked. Humans all over the city were remembering. Names, homes, dreams, music, love. Everything the aliens tried to erase. Now rushing back like a tidal wave, Liam stood in the command chamber. The Prime had stepped aside. The rebels had taken control. But the war was far from over. Look, Kayla said, pointing to the window. Alien dropships, black and heavy, were falling from the sky. Troops, machines, hunters. The High Command had arrived. They're going to shut everything down, she said. They'll wipe us again, or kill us trying. Liam nodded. Then we won't wait for them to attack. The rebels gathered. Humans with stolen weapons. Aliens who had changed sides. Some had only fists, some had blades. But all of them had one thing the enemy feared. Memory. Liam stood before them. Not as a soldier, but as a symbol, not of war, but of return. You were told we were animals, he shouted. You were told we forgot who we are. But I remember. We all do now. We were builders, dreamers, fighters, survivors. And we are done being silent. The chamber roared with voices, fists in the air. The first strike had been truth. Now came fire. They stormed the city streets. Moving like rivers of anger and hope, alien troops tried to stop them, but their ranks were shaking. Even some of them were remembering. The rebels had placed memory chips across the city, small, glowing sparks, each one waking minds like candles in the dark. As Liam fought beside Kayla, dodging blaster fire and leading civilians to safe zones, a sound cut through the chaos. A voice, small, broken, familiar. Liam, he froze, turned slowly, heart beating like thunder. And there, across the battlefield, a figure stood. Dirty, thin, eyes wide. His sister alive. He dropped his weapon and ran to her. They collided, holding each other so tightly they could barely breathe. "I thought you were gone," he whispered. "They sold me," she said. "I waited for you." Tears mixed with blood on his face. "I found you," he said. "I'm not letting go again." Kayla stood nearby, smiling through the smoke. But time was short. The sky opened again. A massive ship descended, bigger than anything they had seen before. The mothership, carrying the final wave. From it dropped war beasts, hybrid machines, born of metal and mind control. Too strong, too fast. The rebels began to fall back, pushed to the heart of the city. It felt like the end, until Liam reached into his pocket and pulled out a crystal. Cube, the same device the alien had given him long ago, the one that hummed like it knew him. "What is that?" Kayla asked. He looked at it, remembering the alien's word, survive. He pressed the crystal to his chest. It melted into his skin, glowing deep under his ribs. Then the ground trembled. A sound like thunder, a deep, ancient voice. Not words, but vibration. The sky cracked open. From above, a ship appeared, old, massive. Earth-made, but not from any time he knew. Metal covered in human markings. Solar wings spread wide like wings of a phoenix, a symbol on its front. Project Genesis. The voice from the ship echoed through the city. "Liam Cade, human of Earth. You have awakened the source. Command is yours." The alien troops paused. Even the war beasts stopped. Sensing something greater, Liam's body glowed faintly, connected now to the ancient ship. He wasn't just human. He was something new, something designed for this moment. He raised his hand. The Genesis ship responded, sending out a pulse, not a weapon, but a wave of memory, light, and clarity. Even the enemies dropped to their knees. Overwhelmed, Kayla stared at him. "What are you?" she asked. Liam looked at his sister, then the burning city, and then the stars above. "I'm human," he said, "and we are done being sold." The Genesis ship lowered ramps, not to escape, but to rebuild, to carry the humans to a new beginning. If Earth could not be saved, they would build something better. The aliens who surrendered were offered peace. Those who resisted were disarmed. The city quieted. For the first time in years, it felt like sunrise, but Liam knew it wasn't. There were more cities, more cages, more of his kind still waiting in the dark. And now they had a light. We were never livestock. The city was quiet. The fires were out. The screens had faded. Only the wind moved now, whispering through the broken towers. Liam stood at the highest point of the core tower. Below him, thousands of humans stood together, no longer afraid, no longer silent behind him. The Genesis ship hovered in the sky, like a guardian made of steel and memory. Kayla stood at his side. So did his sister, holding his hand, and beside them, the Prime, now unarmed, head bowed in silence. The memory pulse had spread, across the stars, across the colonies, across alien-held cities. Humans were waking up everywhere. And not just humans. Some aliens had collapsed under the weight of truth. Others had joined the rebellion. The system was breaking not by war, but by awareness. And now the council was calling. A transmission blinked in the air before Liam. 7 alien faces appeared, cold, powerful, ancient. "You have violated interstellar law," one said. "You have stolen Forbidden's knowledge." Another said, "You are nothing but broken cattle," said the last. Liam stepped forward. "No," he said calmly. "You broke your own laws when you erased our past. You feared our minds, so you shut them down." The council leaned in. "You think one human army can end us?" Liam didn't shout. He just turned, looked out over the crowd, then pointed upward. In the skies above, hundreds of lights appeared. Ships, not just the Genesis. Others, older, hidden for generations, deep under Earth's oceans, awakened. By the signal, One ship bore the name Athena, another Blackridge. Another simply said, United Earth Memory Vessel 9. You thought you buried us, Liam said, but we planted ourselves. He turned off the transmission. The council would understand soon. This wasn't a rebellion. It was a return. He walked down the tower, past rows of human faces. Some had tears, some had scars. All of them had fire in their eyes. In the heart of the city, a new flag was raised, not of a country, but of a species. One symbol only, a human hand holding a star. The survivors began rebuilding, not just buildings, but culture, education, memory. The Genesis ship became a school, a command base, and a sanctuary. Alien children were brought forward by rebel aliens to be taught peace, not programming. Liam spent his days helping rebuild, his nights walking the quiet streets, remembering every face lost, every cage, every scream. He knew peace was only a pause, somewhere. The old systems were still alive, still planning, still afraid. But Earth was not alone anymore. They had the Genesis fleet. They had their minds. And most importantly, they had each other. One day, as the red sun began to rise, Liam stood at a small garden. His sister planted a single flower, the first on alien soil. She looked up at him. Do you think Mom would be proud? She asked. Liam knelt beside her. Yes, he said. She always told us we were meant for more. Kyla joined them, holding a datapad. Transmission from Sector 9, she said. Another cage city has awakened. Liam stood. His body was still tired, but his heart felt light. Then we move, he said, one by one, planet by planet. Before he left, he carved a message into the stone beside the garden. Not for the council, not for the aliens, but for every human still waiting in the dark. It said, we were never livestock. We were always human, and now we remember. He turned toward the Genesis ramp. His sister ran beside him, Kayla at his other side. The future waited, and this time they would walk into it freely, together.